Okay, I've said a few short words in prayer that may bless all those who are rested here, that they may find peace for all eternity. I'm sure they have. But, that's what I wanted to come back up to see that grave for, because it's quite extraordinary. It really is. Mum, Grandpa, Uncle and Grandmother, all named in the one stone. I must share that with my family members. God bless them all, eh? It's so sad to see a graveyard like this all. Well, in some respects, maybe not. Maybe it's just show. Look at this over here. Look at this little den. This is what I'd like to play when I was a youngster. A den. I used to spend a lot of time on my own, even as a child. I'd say to my granny, my granny, that's my dad's mum, I used to say to her, because I used to save her quite a lot, you see, me and one of my sisters. So I'd say to granny, I says, I'm going away into search in the countryside, so you be careful, Andrew, I know what you're like. But she always knew that I was alright. I learned a lot as a child, actually, in my own exploring. I had a great inquisitive mind, and I used to search out some very lonely spots. And what I really liked doing was I liked talking to the old people. I used to spend time just, I would make my presence in the pathway of an old person with a walking stick or something walking along, and I would, at that time, old people didn't get frightened of young people, but so I would say, hello son, are you on your own? I said, yes, I'm just searching things. What are you looking for today? And I would tell them I was looking for something like a bird's nest or something. She said, well, you don't touch the eggs. I said, I won't. But then I used to learn lots of little anecdotal stories and stuff from these old people. I wished I'd paid more attention to them. A fascinating childhood, actually. I really did. I think that's what filled my mind with a lifelong bank of imagination, which is so rich, and probably I've only touched on about 1% of it in my whole life. When I used to spend time with Up and Down in our formative years, we used to explore these imaginary places and thoughts in our mind without actually visiting them. It was quite an experience. It's a very rich time for the mind. I find old people probably the most rewarding of all to talk to. I never thought that I would venture towards old age, but well, I'm not old, but you know what I mean. It's strange how the years gather pace, and they seem to quicken. I can't believe it's almost a month since Christmas already. can't believe how many months have passed since I last saw Up and Down, but there we go. Listen to the water, isn't it lovely? I like water. Water's lovely for the mind. Anyway, what I was thinking and saying there. Yeah, so I used to spend many hours, countless hours in the countryside, and I would return home at 9 o'clock at night and I would get a scolding. "You've had a worried sick, Andrew. Where have you been? What have you been up to? Who were you with? Where are you going?" I didn't want to tell him that I'd been taken by the fairies. I didn't want to tell him that I'd been sitting in the company of fairies for hours. I thought they would laugh at me, so I didn't tell them. I used to be away for hours. All day. Easter holidays were my favourite, actually. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I used to sleep with my clothes on so that I could get up quicker to get out. I did. I was only about 7, isn't it? I could not wait to get up in the morning. The first blink of light, and I would sneak out. Even at that time I used to carry a staff, a stick. I remember it. I had a social avoidant personality probably as a child as well, because I used to avoid the places where I would bang into my friends in case they titter away about, "What are you doing with the stick, you little silly fool?" But I would say, "None of your business, I'm away to see the fairies. You don't know anything about them." And I had a whole avenue of shortcuts I used to take. It's quite extraordinary actually when I think about it all. What's this place called? Wood End Cottage. What a lovely little place to stay, isn't it? Fabulous. I used to have a whole network of routes. At that time, of course, there was lots of public right-of-ways, footpath right-of-ways within the centre of my hometown called Crieff. And for some reason they allowed people to build across these network of closes and footpaths and stuff. But I still remember them all clearly. So it used to take me minutes to get from the town centre to the country. And once in the country, that was me. And I thoroughly, I really enjoyed it. I used to carry an apple, maybe a banana if I had one, or a couple of biscuits and sandwich or something, whatever I could grab and sneak out. I mean, I wasn't sneaking away under like bad behaviour pretense. They knew I was going hunting and walking. And I certainly covered many miles. I don't know. I had so many of these I better watch when this vlog doesn't get too long. But I wanted to say I met some very interesting people. And I don't even know if they were actually, well, this sounds a bit crazy, doesn't it? It does. But I have to tell you, I don't even know if they were real. They didn't seem to be from our era, even in the 70s, late 60s and early 70s. This didn't seem to be from that period. Not at all. I've often asked about certain individuals, and no one can place them. And that for me makes it all the more apparent that what I was seeing and speaking to was from another dimension. I've asked everyone, including my late parents, do you remember this person? Nope. Do you remember this and that? Even people who grew up with me. Do you remember this person that used to... Oh, here's a prime example. Wait till this car passes. Car passing, not excessive speed. She used to be standing next to... I actually lived, it was above the pet shop in Crieff. She used to stand just down at the junction. Car approaching, not driving excessive speed. Cars past, maintained speed. And she used to wear this black cloak and a black hat. And she stood for hours at the same spot. There used to be, where the pet shop was a little fish shop, which also sold fresh fruit and vegetables. And I was only about, what, 13 at the time, and I had this, she was much older than me, this girl, but she was, well, I suppose the word then was I fancied her. And I thought she fancied me. Well, she did. She thought I was charming. So I used to go in and buy ski yogurt. That was when when yogurt, yes, ski yogurt came in the upturned position. Am I making sense here? Yogurt cartons are like this, but ski was in a wide base with a narrower top with a foil covering. And pear yogurt was absolutely delicious. It was the real yogurt. So I used to go and get 2 of these, only 5 pence or something. And, or 10 pence maybe, I can't remember. But anyway, I really, really loved this girl. So I would go in as often as I could. But every time I was approaching the shop, this woman would stand there. And she had the most vicious dog called Flossie. And no one I could speak to knows this dog called Flossie either. I'm talking about asking dozens of people, do you remember Flossie, including my own brothers and sisters? No. I said, you must remember Flossie. It would have bitten your head off if I got a chance. But I used to sit with this woman, and it behaved itself when it was with her. But I used to have to walk around her to go to this shop to see this girl. And she was just stood like that, pillar, very stern, and just stared at me. And she was quite large, I suppose you could call her quite large, but she wasn't overweight, I don't think. But she definitely had a black hat and a big black cloak from her neck right down to her feet. And she was only ever there in the summertime. She never seemed to be any time in the, like, if you went there in January, she wasn't there then. She only seemed to appear in July. And that is the same with a man who used to play the accordion. Again, I've asked dozens of people, do you remember the chap that used to play the accordion outside Frank Thompson, the ironmonger, when it was open? No? I said, come on, you must remember, he played for about 6 weeks, every single day he was there. Rosy-faced man with the accordion. And not one person knows what I'm talking about. I didn't imagine these people, they were absolutely real. So I don't know if I had seen them from a previous time in life. You know, I glimpsed through the veil as I see, and I was seeing these people from a different era. But they definitely were there. And that woman's dog, Flossie. I used to have to make detours when I was going from my granny's house in the High Street down to my home address, to my ma and papa's. And if Flossie was there, on its own, I would have to detour because it knew I was timid of it. just like I've become timid of up and down with the fraught remarks. It's very pleasant out here today, I have to say. It's quite cold. I've got gloves on, as you probably just noticed, but anyway, I'm glad I came up. But isn't that extraordinary? Peter Comrie, Catherine, Mary,